What if the next big Commanders story isn't among the top draft picks, but hidden in quiet bets and underrated choices? The truth is surfacing in Ashburn, and the signs are more surprising than any expert dared to predict. While many are still debating controversial decisions from the 2025 draft, an unexpected scenario is unfolding. A seventh-round running back is being compared to a past idol, and a name overlooked among the wide receivers is making noise early in training. And all this while an unknown offensive lineman receives a veteran contract before even stepping on the field. Let's get straight to the point. Timothy McKay. It might not sound like an impact name right away, but when a UDFA gets $275,000 guaranteed, something is out of the ordinary. That kind of money isn't handed out for nothing. McKay, out of NC State, is already seen as a trusted piece. Nearly 2,800 college snaps and versatility between guard and tackle. He won't be a starter right away, but it's clear that the front office sees a future there. And that says a lot about the rebuilding of this offensive line, which now also includes Josh Connerly Jr. and veteran Laramie Tunsil. But who's really catching everyone's eye? Crosky Merritt. Remember Alfred Morris in 2012? Well, Chris Trapasso of CBS Sports made the comparison: burst, vision, and a scary athletic profile, 4.45 in the 40-yard dash and 41.5-foot vertical. Merritt is the new bet for the future. And if you think it's too early to talk about that, remember, Eckler and Brian Robinson Jr. are free agents in 2026. It wouldn't be surprising at all to see Merritt claiming a role, and maybe, just maybe, becoming the next unlikely star. Now the tension point, the decision between Jalen Lane and Jalen Royals. Damon Parson of Bleacher Report didn't hold back. The Commanders made a mistake. Royals, now with the Chiefs, was the 6th best WR on the board. Lane, 27th. On paper, huge gap. But football is played on the field. And there's the twist. While Parson labels Lane a limited speedster, the first days of minicamp paint a different picture. Sharp routes, crisp cuts, and an immediate connection with the offensive system. Does Lane face heavy competition on the roster? Yes. But he's fighting like the spot's been his all along. And even if it takes time to earn snaps as a lead wide receiver, the return game might be his stage for instant impact. At the end of the day, the answers will come on the field, especially in a matchup against the Chiefs, when Lane and Royals will go head-to-head. And we fans will finally find out, did we get it right or wrong? Now I want to hear from you, Commanders fans. Will Timothy McKay really earn a spot? Is Crosky Merritt the next hidden gem? Does Jalen Lane have what it takes to silence the critics? Drop your thoughts in the comments, because this conversation is ours. If you love deep analysis, behind-the-scenes coverage, and every move from the Commanders, subscribe now to Commanders Fan News today and ring that bell. The 2025 season is shaping up to be epic, and you'll follow every step with us. But while comparisons dominate the debate, something deeper is happening in Ashburn, a silent but decisive transformation. The new leadership is betting on pieces outside the usual radar, players who might not shine in rankings, but who show grit, football IQ, and a hunger for opportunity. This type of athlete, who arrives without the spotlight, may be exactly what defines the new Commanders era. And that's the heart of this story: identity. It's not just about stats, draft picks, or million-dollar contracts. It's about building a team with personality, with depth, and with players who know what it means to fight for a spot. Timothy McKay, Crosky Merritt, and Jalen Lane have that in common. None of them were the safe bet, but they're all ready to write their names into the new franchise narrative and maybe, just maybe, define a generation. And speaking of identity, what about the battle between offense and defense in practice? Internal sources say intensity has ramped up significantly in recent days, with Lane taking snaps against starting cornerbacks and Merritt being tested in blitz situations. All signs point to a coaching staff that wants to see who's really ready for war when September comes. Every rep in practice now counts like gold. Every catch, every block, every route, it's all being logged, measured, and evaluated. And it's here, far from packed stadiums, that the true stories of grit and glory are born. And if you're asking yourself, will this team work out? Let me tell you, the future is already being written. Commanders Fan News today is here to tell you everything. No filters, no fluff. If you want to follow every step of this rebuild, every name that could surprise, and understand the behind-the-scenes stuff the mainstream media won't show you, this is your channel. Like the content, then show you're part of the family. smash that like button. Drop your thoughts on Lane, Merritt, and McKay. And of course, subscribe to Commanders Fan News today now. Hit the bell because there's a lot more coming. This season is going to be a wild one, and you won't want to miss a moment of the Burgundy and Gold revolution. But Samir, what if it all goes wrong? That's the question many fans are quietly asking. And the answer? Honestly, it's part of the process. Rebuilds are never a straight line. They're made of risks, bold decisions, bets that might seem insane until they work. What if Lane doesn't become a starting WR? What if Merritt isn't the new Alfred Morris? What if McKay doesn't make it past the preseason roster? All that could happen. But what can't happen and isn't happening this time is inertia. The new Commanders' leadership is active, present, and most of all, has a plan. It's no longer about big names and bloated contracts. It's about building a deep, competitive roster that's ready to face any NFL opponent. When we see Lane taking on starters with fire in his eyes, or Merritt running with a burst of a dreamer, we know something is changing. These players don't just want to play. They want to prove they belong. And that Commanders Nation changes everything. And when September comes and the stadiums are full and the nation's eyes are on Washington, remember where it all started. At Ashburn practices with criticized picks and overlooked names who now embody the soul of this team. That's the beauty of the NFL. A league where one bad pick can cost you a season, but where one overlooked name can change a franchise's fate. Commanders Fan News today is here to tell those stories with you, every step of the way. If you're the kind of fan who lives for every preseason snap, who studies the depth chart like it's a treasure map, and who believes this team will rise again, then you're in the right place. Subscribe now. Drop your predictions below. Who will surprise us? Who deserves more chances? Which of these bets will become reality? Turn on notifications, share this with a diehard Commanders fan, and let's build this new era together. The future is being written now, and you're part of it. And now, as a Commanders fan, let me open my heart to you. I'm excited. Not just because we're seeing young prospects like Krosky Merritt or Jalen Lane gaining ground, but because, for the first time in years, it feels like there's real purpose behind the franchise's decisions. It's no longer about putting out fires. It's about building something lasting from scratch with guys who truly want to be here. Seeing a UDFA like Timothy McKay getting that kind of bet tells me everything. That kind of investment doesn't happen by chance. It's the kind of move that shows the coaching staff is scouting raw talent, not just the draft headlines. That, to me, is long-term vision. And about Jalen Lane. Look, I was skeptical too when I saw the comparison with Royals. But watching the guy respond on the field, training like it's the Super Bowl, that won me over. I'd rather have a guy who silences critics with action than a hype prospect who vanishes when the lights come on. As for Merritt, man, if he's half of what Alfred Morris was in 2012, I'll clear a spot on my jersey shelf. We need guys like that, explosive, driven, and with something to prove. And you know what? Maybe that's what will change this team's story. Not a superstar, but a bunch of hungry guys, thirsting for victory. A group that wants to turn the Commanders not just into a competitive team, but into a franchise that commands respect again. If you're like me and believe that new blood can reignite the fire in Washington, stay with us here on the channel. This is the place where passion speaks loudest, where analysis comes with heart, and where every fan has a voice. Subscribe now to Commanders Fan News today. Hit the bell and let's cheer, hope, and demand together. Because this team is ours, and the next chapter is just beginning. Hail to the Redskins, always with pride.